you have paid, right? Organic, like I said, was whatever you're putting on the post without paying for it, right? Paid social. Now, this is, like I said, usually a different team of people do this. You can be in this also, right? You can be the person who's managing the paid part of it. This is a little more complicated because this needs understanding of targeting and all of that. Go through it today and then figure out what part of it you like better, right? Do you like creating engaging posts, creating content? Do you like all of that? Or do you like the ad targeting strategy bit, right? Now, this I had actually showed you last time. These are how the ads look, right? So next time when I was telling you, next time, for next week, just on your same presentations, if you can, just figure the post itself, right? Now, see, this is a post. It has a logo, it says sponsored, it has a text, it has this. When I'm saying post, right, this, you have to take the screenshot of the entire thing, right? Now, this is a post. This is a post, the entire thing from the head till the end. Now, here, right, and we will, for other channels also, we will go through similar things, but Facebook and Instagram have the same Facebook Business Manager, right? It's called Facebook Business Suite. I will open it and also show you all. It technically has the same place. So from the same place, you're advertising on Facebook and Instagram together, right? You can also choose to only do it on Insta. You can also choose to do it only on Facebook, but eventually it's the same business. So in Facebook and Instagram, the objective of why you're doing the campaign is, all of this, right? You can either choose to build awareness, which is saying, for example, and I'm trying to think what option to take. Imagine you're Forever 21, right? All of you all know Forever 21 brand. I can take that. You'll know Forever 21, right? The stores. So let's take Forever 21, right? When Forever 21 wants to do a Facebook and Instagram post, the first thing that they do is saying, what are we doing this for? Do my audiences know about Forever 21? Do they not? If they don't, if they think that it is not that famous yet, then they will say, let me do a brand awareness or a reach campaign. And I explained the difference, but there is a brand awareness and there's a reach campaign, right? I will say that the most important thing before I promote my product or before I show an ad, it's important that people even know that a brand exists. So the first type of ad I will choose is brand awareness. What a Forever 21 will do in brand awareness is that they will, through their post, right? They will say that Forever 21 now in India or Forever 21 now at, at the store nearest you. And they will have a list of store locations, or they will do a carousel ad. You would have seen carousel, right? Those different ads together where you scroll through, right? Different images, like for Tanishq and all, you have those, or e-commerce, Amazon, you have those images, right? So they will do ads which showcase their product range and which tell people that they are now in India and this is the category they operate in, right? Reach, however, is where when you are launching a product, a Forever 21, imagine it's, for example, let's take IKEA, right? You all know IKEA, right? IKEA launched a store in Vashi or Navi Mumbai area. What IKEA will do is that day that it is launching or one day before it launches, it will do a reach campaign, which is wherein they are saying, I want to reach 80% of people or 90% of people in Mumbai plus Navi Mumbai area, and I want them to see the ad 3 times, right? Because this is recall, right? So they will book. This is a fixed buy. They will book saying, I want to reach 80% of people around this location. And I want them to see that 3 times or 5 times or whatever. That is a reach campaign where it's a fixed buy. Brand awareness is not like that. Brand awareness is where you put in money, and I will say I put in 50 lakh rupees, and with 50 lakh rupees, whoever sees my ad, right? So it's not a fixed buy. That's the difference between brand awareness and reach. Brand awareness, like I said, you put in budgets and it reaches whoever it has to reach. You are fixing and saying, I need to reach this many people this many times. Consideration, and you all, I don't know if you all have, ever gone through a marketing funnel. You have awareness, you have interest, you have consideration, you have purchase, right? You have that entire model. In that model, after awareness, after you come to know that Forever 21 is a brand that sells jeans, for example, imagine you want to buy jeans. After that, what happens is you go into Forever 21, you see all the images, you go onto their shopping website, they have an e-commerce website. You may not go to the store, you check the products, and then you are saying, what, let me see the price. at Myntra, right? Because you will see the prices and Forever 21 is expensive, right? So you will look at that and you will say, you know what, let me check at Myntra, and you will go and check jeans at Myntra, right? At this point, what you're doing is you're comparing products, right? But you've already gone and checked Forever 21, wherein you have gone from awareness to consideration, saying, I am considering maybe buying from Forever 21, or I can buy from Myntra or Flipkart or wherever, right? So in that, that is consideration. The last one is where you finally decide saying, you know what, Myntra has cheaper products, but Forever 21 has better products. Let me go for Forever 21, and you go and actually purchase the product, right? That is conversion. So you start with being aware of the product, then you start comparing and researching about the product, and last is you either buy the product or don't buy the product, right? If you are a brand, if you're Forever 21, imagine you have done brand awareness campaigns for 2 months, right? A lot of your audiences already know about you. Then you have to decide, what do I want people to do? Do I want people to go to my website? So this is traffic, right? Traffic is website traffic. Do I want people to go to the traffic? Do I want people to engage with my posts on Facebook? I have a lot of posts. Do I want people to go and like them? Do I, if they have an app for purchase like a Myntra has, do I want people to install the app, or do I want people to watch my videos? Because like I said, videos are expensive, right? You're putting in 35,000, 1 lakh rupees on a video. Maybe you want people to engage with the video itself. So you decide whether you want video views, you decide whether you want leads. Now for Forever 21, there is no concept of lead generation, right? Because you directly can go and purchase the product. What your lead generation can, however, mean is if you want people to call you, or you want them to download a brochure, or you want them to do any activity, right? That can be considered as lead gen, but usually lead generation is done for products like insurance, for loans, for BFSI, wherein a person is showing interest, dropping name, mobile number, email ID, maybe one or two other factors, city, and clicking on submit. That's a lead form, right? So you can choose to do that. Or messages is where you want more and more people to come to your messenger, right? This is promoted when there is a chat bot. You would have seen, right? Sometimes you write to a brand, you write to a Pepperfry on Facebook Messenger, and the chatbot replies, right? The person doesn't reply, there's a chatbot that replies. So if you have paid 5 lakh rupees and set up a chatbot, you will do a messages kind of a promotion to promote people to come to messenger. The last one is where either you have direct conversions. Forever 21, like I said, directly people can come and buy the product. Catalog sales is wherein you have a list, and a lot of these local stores do catalog sales, right? They have a list of products listed there, and you want people to buy through Facebook itself, right? Because they don't have people going to their website, so they have people buying through Facebook itself. The last one, because Forever 21 has stores, what they can do is to people who are living, imagine Forever 21 is in Ghatkopar in Mumbai, you will have people who are around 5 kilometers around Ghatkopar who are receiving a message saying Forever, or seeing an ad which says Forever 21 now at our city, visit now, right? So you're driving people to go to the store itself. Now, these are the things where it's optimized, and it may be a lot of details for you now, but all that I want you all to take away from this slide is that there are different types of ads that we see, right? There are ads you see in the post in your timeline. There are ads you see in stories. There are ads when you're watching a video, it comes in between the video itself, right? Mid-roll. There are different types of ad types that are available. Whenever you start doing this, right, properly, at that time there will be more things that are added, and there will be some things from this which are removed. So we are okay with ad types because eventually when you're doing it, when you're going live with it, you can see a preview of what it looks like. So there is no problem at this end, right? So you don't have to remember or by heart or anything. You have options and you have to just choose which one seems the best for you. Now you can optimize it, and optimize, when we say, for example, for Forever 21, when they're launching, for them it's very important to get people to view, right? So impressions is the number of people, and I've explained this in my first session. Reach is 1. So if Pooja sees the ad 1 time, the reach is 1. If Pooja sees the ad 3 times, the reach is 1, but the impressions are 3, right? Because I have seen it 3 times. So whenever you are deciding a campaign, you can do two things. Either you can say, I want to know how many unique people have seen the ad. Imagine you all are 7 people, right? 7 people have seen the ad how many ever times, I don't care. I want to just know the number of people who have seen. Then I will consider impressions. However, if I say all 7 people should have seen the ad at least one time, I will consider reach, right? Link clicks are, like I was saying, the click where the person is clicking and going to the page, that is link clicks. Video views, all of this is self-explanatory, right? And eventually, whatever you're choosing, whichever is your brand, you don't, like I said, don't have to buy hard disk. You just have to ask the person, the business person or the brand person, saying, what do you want to drive? If the person says, I want people on my campaign page, then you go and select landing page views. If the person says, I want people to go into Forever 21 store, you optimize it for store visits, right? So just go through the list basis what, and all of this is self-explanatory. So whatever the person says, go and select whichever option is here. That's it, right? You're paying either for 1,000, and cost per CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions. It's called CPM because M is milli, MILLIE, which is 1,000, right? So you're either paying for 1,000 impressions or you're paying for each click. So imagine Ruxar and Muskan went and clicked on it. So I am paying for these 2 people to click on my ad. I'm not paying for all 7 of us or 8 of us to see the ad, right? Any questions here? So just note this one thing, right? Though this seems complicated, this is not something we have to buy. This is something that when you go and you're running the ad, you will get the options. You will, whatever you have to choose that one thing, right? Don't worry about the other options, right? But any questions on this?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, when we post an ad in Facebook or any other social networking site, how do we get to know that the ad is being reached to the target audience, or how many people does it have reached?
Yes, so I'll show you that. I'll just take you through the. I'll actually let me open this here itself, right? I'll sit here 1 second. Yeah. So this is how the dashboard looks, right? This is the business, or this is called the Facebook Business Manager. Now, because it includes Instagram, it's also called as Facebook Business Suite, right? SUITE. Here, what happens is imagine you are creating a campaign, right? Here, remember what I was telling you is this brand awareness, reach, all of these things you can see here, right? Now here, imagine, like I said, I was Forever 21. I will choose brand awareness, right? I choose brand awareness. I continue. I come to this page, right? Now there are only 2 pages, right? And this is where the entire thing, this is all there is to Facebook Business Manager, right? Anytime you have a question about any of these things, right, just click, you will understand what happens is this, right? If you don't understand here, then you can go see there are details also that, sorry, not here, sorry, there are always these details that are mentioned about what it is, right? If you want to learn more, you can learn more. Facebook has a very strong help directory where any question you have, 1 second, let me just say this. It's called the Business Help Center, right? Any question you have is answered here about anything. So what do you do if your ad is rejected? For example, troubleshoot. So sometimes what happens, you run an ad and then there is an issue. How do I change my Facebook page name? Any question you have, right? Imagine, for example, so for tracking your pixel, you will get answers here, right? So as much as possible, just have, for example, so custom audience is wherein Forever 21, if it has a list, or Lodha, for example, has a list of all the people who bought from Lodha before, they will upload their entire email ID and mobile number of those people on Facebook, right? And then they will say, and I'll show you where, but I'll just go ahead. They'll upload it on Facebook and then they will say, I want to show an ad only to my existing customers of Lodha, right? That is a custom audience. So there is an option here of either choosing a new audience set or an existing audience. So I'll actually first just take you through this. So imagine here you name this as Test Sunday, right? Here you're not in social issue, election, or politics. So then you don't have to select. If you're working on any of it, then you have to choose that, right? Now buying type. So most of these things, and Facebook has now been a little more intelligent in not allowing you to choose factors where you can't change it, right? For example, if I go to reach and frequency, it will say fixed by. Here it says auction. So you don't have to choose, right? It is auction, keep it as auction, right? Here you have already chosen as brand awareness. So you're not going to change, right? A/B testing we don't want to do now because A/B testing, and I'll take you through. I have something on A/B testing also, but A/B testing we don't want to do now. A/B testing is where you are testing which image is working. So, for example, you have one image of Oreo, with the kite, one image of a person with the kite, right? A human person with the kite with an Oreo kept on the side, right? Then you are testing, saying which image works better. That is A/B testing, right? You are checking which element works better. Now here, so this is all that you have to choose here, right? You have to choose your type of ad. That's it. Now you go next. This is an ad set. Now ad set, there is a campaign, and under that there are ad sets, right? So a campaign can be Valentine's Day. You can do an ad set where Valentine's for him, Valentine's for her, Valentine's for married people, Valentine's for single. You can create different here under the Valentine's campaign. You can create 1, 2, 3, 4. You can create ad campaigns for different segments, right? Because when you're showing a woman, you can't show a woman gifts for her, right? If you have a title or an ad which says gifts for her, you can't show it to a woman. So then what you'll have to do is you'll have to create two different ad sets, right? But the campaign is one, which is Valentine's Day. Now here you have to set your budget. So imagine I have 5,000 rupees per day. So this also will be decided by your business. Someone will come and tell you, listen, I have 5,000, I have so much rupees in a month, which means so much rupees in a day, right? So you can either do daily budget or you can do lifetime budget. Lifetime budget is where I'm saying, pura campaign ke liye, I want to spend 1 lakh rupees, right? So then here I will put money here, saying ki spend from Feb 21st. Now, obviously, if it was Valentine's Day, it's gone. But from Feb 21st to March 21st, or imagine I will say only till Feb, right? This campaign, imagine, is only for Feb. I will say for this much period, for 1 week, spend 1 lakh rupees. I don't care if tomorrow it spends 50,000 and then remaining days it only spends 5,000, but total budget I have is 10 lifetime. However, what I would suggest you do is keep it as daily budget, because you sometimes what happens is, and I have had this experience, we were working for, I don't know which brand it was. I think it was Disney at that time. We had put in a budget of 50 lakhs, okay, for 3 months, and it was a lifetime budget. And we said, let us put a lifetime budget, because if on Sunday more people come, let them see that, right? Let me not cap and say that only so many people should see. We actually ended up spending 4 lakhs in a day, just like that. So it was a huge, and that 4 lakh rupees was spent on a target audience which didn't even work for us. So then you are losing a lot of money. So try keeping a daily budget, right? You can set the campaign days here. Now here is what I was saying. If you have a custom audience, right? This is custom audience. Now here, if you have, for example, Lodha, right? Lodha will have 5, 20 or 20 properties with different people who are bought in that, right? What Lodha will do is they will upload. So they'll create new and upload those different audiences, and they will say Lodha Parel, Lodha Mulon, Lodha, whatever, right? They'll have those different custom audience. And if they want to target, then this is the place where they select, right? Here, then, like I was saying, there's age. So you choose, imagine you choose a 24 to a, you're nearly done with our time. Here, imagine I'm choosing only women, right? For example, I'm just randomly choosing one because we already have all. Here is, now this is the entire targeting part. This is where you are browsing and you're figuring out what do you want to target. So if this was Forever 21, I would go to education, right? I would go to education level, and I will say everyone, because the audience of Forever 21 are young people. I will say I want everyone from college, right? You can see when I'm doing this, I think Ruksar, you had asked, right? You can see how many people are targeted here, right? So I can see a number here. How many people are included in 20? So actually, this is the wrong target. Sorry, because I'm taking college. Let me just take 16 to 25, right? And I will take Forever 21 is only for women, right? Or it's for men also. Does anyone know? I think it's for men also. Anyone knows about Forever 21? So I'll just show you this. If it was men and women both, it would have reached so many people, but only women is so many people, right? So it's 42 lakhs for women and it is 1.9 crore if it is men and women. So imagine I choose only women, right? For now. I understand here how many people it can reach, right? With the budget that I have put, which is how much ever rupees a day, right? Which is 200 rupees a day. Now, what happens? Sorry, what am I doing? What happens here is this, right? Eventually, out of this, the number of people I end up reaching depends on the budget. If I put 1 lakh, right, I will reach maybe 80% of this audience. If I put 50,000, maybe I'll reach only 50% of this audience, right? But this is the maximum number of people available on Facebook whom I can target. That's what this number says. This number doesn't say that your campaign is targeting so many people, right? This says how many people you can reach if you have the budget. So if I imagine I put here 10 lakh rupees, maybe I will reach this entire audience, right? So that's how this works. Now, once any questions still here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. If anyone has questions, please stop me and ask. Huh? There's no problem. So once you choose here, right, languages, you know, I don't know if I want to put any language, but imagine I'm putting Hindi, the number becomes smaller, right? This becomes 21 lakhs. I think that was 46 lakhs. If I'm selecting only Hindi as a language, from only selecting Hindi as a language, it lessens to 21 lakh rupees, right? So then you will usually always choose English as a primary language, and then you can choose whichever vernacular language you want. Now, this is all okay, right? Here you don't mind. So this gives you an option saying, who do you want to reach to? People who like your page existing, but don't choose all of this because it really lessens people who are in this audience, right? So don't choose any out of this. If you want to, you can, but technically don't because you will really reduce the number. Here, it says recommended. Wherever Facebook says recommended, please go ahead with that option, right? Because then the other one, automatic placement, is where Facebook decides where the ad should be shown. In manual placements, you have to manually choose. Now, if you're doing this for 1 year, 2 years, you will know exactly which placements work and don't work. Then it is okay, right? Then feel free to go manually and choose it. But otherwise, automatic works best because Facebook then decides which are the good channels that work for you. So then it will show in-stream video and instant articles on Facebook. It will show on audience network. So it will technically show everywhere, right? It will show on your in-stream. So whenever you're seeing a video, if it's a video property, it will show there as an ad between the video. It will show as instant articles where you click, you can go to an article page. Audience network is where there are third parties involved. For example, BuzzFeed, right? You all will know BuzzFeed. Your article will be shown on a BuzzFeed. I mean, your ad will be shown on a BuzzFeed. When people read an article from Facebook and go on a BuzzFeed, the ad will be there, right? That's what an audience network is. Here, right here, you don't have to choose anything. So what happens is a lot of these things are not allowed. See, this is not available for the option. So it's okay. So then you go ahead. Now, they are telling you that now this is the last place. This is the place where you decide saying what is the ad you want to run. So, like I was telling you the carousel ad, right? Carousel ad is the one that moves like this. This is obviously not an active account. Or you can have a single one, right? A single image that you post. Now here, once you choose the image, you can upload and all of that. You can view more variations. So people who actually run this, right? All of us will not run this. Like I don't ever need to use this option because there's a person in the agency who's an expert for this. So that person sits and runs this, right? That person will go check each of these, will figure. So all of this is done by a specific person who handles paid media. You can be that person too. If you like the job, you will be there. But otherwise, this has a very specific person who does it, right? So you can also turn this into a video where, they take literally, and this is done through intelligence, right? They take options. You can see this. So it creates, you can select one of these things also. This is pre-made template, right? So you can upload an image here. You can here, for example, you can choose like, stories I mentioned about InStream. You can choose where it needs to come into. You put here the text, right? Imagine I want to put XYZ, whatever text comes here. So this, you can see it. See, you can see it here, right? This is a preview. So you can see whatever comes. You can change the image. You can upload that image there. You can change this. You can change the headline. So by and now, see, I put buy online now, it showed here, right? So you can exactly see what you're uploading, right? I said add a website URL. So then that website URL comes here. If I remove it, the website URL goes, right? So I put a website URL here, I write a description. This is the newsfeed link description, this part, right? Headline you saw was this is the display URL. So you add all of these details. You add what you want to show. This is the display URL, right? Sometimes, and the reason we have display URL is this. Amazon will have, if Amazon is selling refrigerators, Amazon's refrigerator link will be amazon.com slash electronics slash something slash refrigerator, right? It does not want to show all that. So what they will do is the URL is different. It is a longer URL, but the display link will only show amazon.com, right? That's why you have a display URL. Now here, you have to choose what is your call to action, right? What do you want that person to do? So if it is Forever 21, right? Do you want the person to shop? Technically, because it's an online thing, you will do a shop now, right? Now this, if you want to put your Facebook page name or your Instagram page name, you can. Otherwise, it's okay. Usually we don't do this because we don't want people to go anywhere else than this. The last thing, now this is managed by the analytics person, right? There is a pixel code that is placed so that you are able to identify that the person who came on Forever 21 is from this particular ad, right? So this is done. There is a tracking which is done, right? You have to put this pixel. Imagine if this was Forever 21. On its website, imagine the person is going to this. On this website, there will be a code. This is when you do Control U, you reach this page, right? This is where code pixels are put in. I'm just going to check. I don't know if they'll have. They don't have a pixel. So what usually happens is if there's a pixel, right? Actually, I think so. They don't have it. So they don't have a Facebook pixel here. Maybe they have it at their campaign page. What happens is yahan pe that pixel will be mentioned, right? So then you are able to recognize where the person has come from. So it will literally be a code like this. You have to take it, or whoever is the person has to take it from this tracking. I'm not able to shut this. The person will have to take the code from you. You have to do setup and go ahead and all. Honestly, we don't do it, right? None of us will do it because it's an analytics job. Set up, put that code there, and we are able to track all the people who came from this ad onto the website or the campaign landing page. URL parameters. Now, this is a URL, right? You can see this URL business.facebook.com. You can see all of these things, right? Business ID is equal to selected campaign ID is equal to. What happens is this is a little complicated. Let me just show you term insurance, right? Imagine this is Policy Bazaar. This you can see, and medium is equal to CPC. CPC is cost per click. This is all digital marketing, but I will still just quickly explain. This allows you to understand that the person has come from a search ad, a Google search ad, right? The person has come for the word term plan, because I put term plan, right? You saw me putting on Google term plan, and then this is a unique code. This is a UTM parameter, right? And what you see here, URL parameter, this comes here, right? You can see key 1 is equal to value is equal to key 2. This is this. See, is equal to term plan, and this is equal to search generic. This also is done or given by your analytics person, right? You have to just copy paste the URL. You have to tell the people, the person that, listen, this is my ad, this is where I'm putting it. The person will give you a URL like that, right? You have to take that and paste it here. That's it. And then after this, next is publish. You have to add, your, if you already have an active account, then you have no problem. Otherwise, there's a credit line associated. So I just have anyway put this in the presentation, but here, after you press publish on that URL parameter, you get this option saying, because this was obviously it's a shut account, you will get this option and you continue and the ad gets published. And that is it. Are there any queries on this? Hello?
All of this, like, just as done on Facebook. Is it the same way done on Instagram?
It's the same. So here, what happens is, if you are running it on, where did it go? Here, when I have, I don't know if it's, you can see this. The same thing you do, and you can choose to put it on Instagram, you can put it on Instagram stories, explore, you have all of these different options, right? From the same place, the same ad you can post only on Insta, or you can choose multiple, right? This is the same place for Insta and Facebook. It has this exact same thing. It's just that at an option of where it has to be posted on Facebook or Insta, you choose it from here. That's it. It's otherwise the exact same. And see what happens is this, right? And I was telling Aarti also initially, every 6 months, Facebook goes and changes the look and feel of the platform, right? But that is not a concern, because what happens is, when you know that the only things you need to put are age, demographics, interest, budget, when you know that you have to do this now, however different it looks, you will be able to do this and you'll be able to understand what to select, right? Whenever you start working officially with the company, at that point, they will anyway give you a training of exactly what to choose, what are the things that work for them. So every agency, every digital social agency has their own way to, run campaigns, right? So they will tell you that, we prefer only putting lifetime budget, right? They will tell you what to do. So, you don't have to at this point just understand the logic of, what all gets selected or what all targeting options are available. Absolutely don't be intimidated by the fact that there seems to be so many things. If you saw I hardly had to choose anything, right? Half of the things are something which we don't have to select or are disabled. So the main part of this thing is to understand about the potential audience, saying that if I add things and add and optimize on age and interest and all of that, I can see how many people I reach. This is a main thing to take away from this entire thing. Does that help? Hello. We have very perfect. So we have very less time, but we have only one thing left. The A/B testing I was telling you about, right? Now, this is a random image, but I will explain this here. But you know what happens when you're setting up a campaign, and imagine this is Valentine's Day campaign, right? You have image 1, image 2, image 3, right? Choose 3 images. One maybe with a couple, one maybe with the product and a heart, one maybe with Happy Valentine's Day written, right? For each of these images, choose to have one title. So you will have one, you will upload like the ad set you saw, right? You upload one image and you upload one headline. Again, you duplicate the campaign with the image, edit the headline, duplicate it one more time and change the headline. So you have 3 titles, right? Which is changing. Same thing you have to do with image 2. Choose image 2, maybe the image with the Valentine and the heart, right? Duplicate it, change the title, duplicate it, change the title. You'll have 3 titles, 1 image for second image, right? Do the same thing for third. Now, what happens is, here you're deciding which targeting is working. You don't need to have so many, right? In image 1, what you have to do is, for targeting, imagine the first target is a man, right? 18 to 24, college. So you have imagery of, whatever the image is here. You are using 18 to 25 male, right? The second targeting is the same age group, female. The third age group is newly married couples, same image. The fourth is newly engaged couples. So then here you've already made 4 targets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So male college, female college, newly married and newly engaged, right? So you have 4. Same thing have here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Same targeting that you chose there. Same targeting here. What you will be eventually able to figure out is which image worked for which, with which headline and for which targeting. There is a possibility that for a newly engaged couple, the second image, right, with title 3 worked the best. Okay, we'll just end. Yeah. Sorry. Just 5 more minutes, Aarti. I'll just quickly finish this. So you are literally just editing the headline and figuring out which one works, right? At the end of this, you will be able to figure out which image worked with which audience, with which headline. And that's it. That's all A/B testing is, right? So if you're testing image, if you're testing copy, and to test targeting, these are the three things we are doing. Saying for newly engaged, this is the copy that works, this is the image that works, right? Now, I think this is the last slide. Yeah. When we are measuring our campaign, there are only these things you do. First is you figure out what was your business objective. For Forever 21, was it the number of people who walked into their store? So that's your business objective. What does a business want to drive? Walk-ins to the store. What is your media objective? To walk into the store, I need maximum people around, for example, Ghatkopar to see my video, right? So my media objective from doing the campaign, from the post, is to get maximum impressions, to get maximum people viewing the image. So these are the two things you choose when you're deciding whether your campaign worked or not, right?